Aerials are a core element of Rocket League. 10 years ago, flying with your car to hit a ball seemed like an impossible task, but now it's a skill that you must have if you want to be somewhat decent at the game. However, this doesn't mean that flying hasn't become any easier, but there is more knowledge about it. So I gather all of it from the internet and my experience coaching professional players to bring it to you guys in just one video. I will explain 5 fundamental pillars that will be useful either you are a low rank player or a more experienced one. This will be a longer video, so I put chapters on YouTube so you can just skip to a part that it's more interesting to you, but I still watch you recommending all the way through so you don't miss any important information. Thank you DBHubs for sponsoring this video. Pillar 1. Fast aerial versus standard aerial. Which of them is better? The answer might seem a bit obvious. Fast aerial, right? The truth is that both have the same importance. It's just that each of them have their own scenarios in which they shine. So which are they? Fast aerials are perfect for balls high up in the air, in which the idea is to outspeed your opponent. To fast aerial, you need to jump and immediately start boosting until your car back, and then use your second jump. Simple enough. To solve the most common mistake that is backflipping, you need to make sure to not be pressing the second jump at the same time as you are inclining your car. The only problem with fast aerial is that it comes at a cost of sacrificing accuracy and with that, power on your touch. This is why standard aerial is better in balls that are close to the ground, because it allows you to save your flip to hit the ball with strength and precision. This sounds logic once I say it, but I cannot stress to you how many people I see while coaching that just spam double jump to go for a shot, just like Bot Shepherd. Some balls close to the ground, consider holding your second jump, but keep in mind that it only lasts 1.5 seconds, so you gotta be fast. Also, hold your button on your first jump instead of just tapping it, in order to gain as much height as possible. Pillar 2. Aerial. First, why do we spin? Some people might think that this is unnecessarily flashy, but it actually serves a purpose, which is to make you go into specific directions smoothly. If you aerial without aerialing, you will see how unstable your car feels. There are 2 ways to aerial: free aerial and directional aerial. I see many people confused about the difference in between these two. Let's say that one is more accurate and the other one is more consistent. Free aerial allows you to make tiny adjustments on your car by spinning purely with your stick or movement keys. This allows you to be really accurate, especially when going for aerial or aerial shots. And it's also flexible since you can move your car in both directions. While DAR allows you to forget about the spinning motion but just holding a button and use all your brain power to adjust and make the touch you want. It shines the most when used for air dribbles, flea resets, and ceiling shots. It also allows you to tornado spin, which is a really consistent way of flying, where the momentum generated by your boost gets spread out, balancing your car and allowing adjustments mid-flight. Even though it's possible to achieve high ranks with just one directional aerial binded, I recommend you learning both so you can decide in which scenarios you should use each of them. Bindings. When you're choosing your bindings, the most important thing is that they are comfortable to you. This is why I recommend you to have aerial and boost binded on different fingers. You don't want to be pressing square and circle with your thumb at the same time. That's pretty inconvenient. The most default way to have them is to bind aerial and also power slide to L1 or LT, boost to R1 or RT, and aerial left and right to square and circle, or X and B for Xbox respectively. Now, before you go down into the comments, I know that Sen uses aerial on L2 or LT, which allows him to control how fast the car spins, depending on how deep he presses the trigger. To be honest, I cannot tell you whether to use it or not because I don't use it myself, but still feel free to try it, because one of the best players in the world already showed that it's definitely useful. Stop overspinning. Sometimes I'm watching a student's replay in which they did everything right. They are in the perfect place with a good amount of boost to score an open net. Just to aerial to the ball, spin more of what is needed and just miss it. And I cannot hold myself from asking why. This especially happens with directional aerial. Most of the times you need to spin to align properly with the ball, but at the moment of the contact, it's usually better to keep your car still and maybe free aerial slightly to ensure an accurate touch. If you don't believe me, just look at this iconic clip from Justin.
And it's almost there. Justin keeps it alive. Turner wasn't there. Bounces into the corner. Energy still around. Justin is there for the shot. Justin! This is Rocket League!
Pillar 3. Boost efficiency. There are a few keys to be efficient with your boost when you're flying. Feathering technique. This is a well-known technique in which you tap your boost button instead of holding it in order to save boost. A common issue is that people misunderstand it and think that this applies to the whole aerial, but in reality you cannot feather at the beginning of it. Think it in this way. When you just jump, your vertical momentum is almost zero. So the force required to move your car is high, meaning that you have to boost more. As you gain more speed, your momentum will carry you up even when you're not boosting. With this in mind, we'll feather to keep our height, which is especially useful when air dribbling. Feathering also prevents overboost, which shifts orientation, so correct with just enough boost for direction and not speed. Another way to save boost is to jump straight from high places instead of from the ground. So get familiar with jumping from the wall, the ceiling, the net. No matter your position, you should be able to take off properly. The best technique that you can use is to simply use your dodge in order to gain distance in the air without boosting, since you will reset your down momentum by cancelling the gravity and starting your aerial once the flip ends. I especially use it when defending an aerial play from the backboard and I am low boost. On the training side, one of my favorite ways to do it is by using Speed Jump Boost by DMC. This workshop is the definition of old but gold. If you're an Epic Games player and you don't know how to play workshops, well, don't worry, I got you. I have a tutorial on how to do it. Finally, there is one more thing that allows you to save boost, which comes up on the next pillar. But before that, I wanted to talk about DBHubs. This is a Rocket League community where you will have access to more than 10 monthly coaching events and find potential teammates that actually care about the game. You can party up with them, and also multiple professional RLCS coaches that will help you improve massively, including me. Each coach explains different concepts from their respective points of view, enhancing the value of the explanation. Check their website and join their Discord. Pillar 4. Reading the ball mid-air. This is one of the two most important pillars out of them all. It's what separates mid players from top tier ones. Being able to read the ball fast and accurately not only allows us to beat our opponents, but also to be efficient while doing it. It all begins with your takeoff. This part is crucial because it allows you to save boost, determine how fast you reach the ball, and if you'll get to it in time or not. Sometimes we read the bounce perfectly. We took off before our opponent, but we were simply facing the wrong way, which makes the aerial really hard to adjust, and we whiff. Since we have more control of our car in the ground than in the air, consider taking an extra moment to properly aim your car to your destination before jumping for the ball. To prepare our takeoff properly, we first need to read where the ball is going and when we will encounter it. This is a skill that has to be trained. There's no cheat code around this. It's just practicing in free play and training packs a lot. A training pack I love is Double Tap Playground, which allows you to set up yourself to go for a double, making every single try unique. You didn't like the part of no cheat codes, right? Well, I can give you a tip. To be better at reading the ball, just look at it when it's bouncing on the wall and forget about your car for a little bit. This allows you to read it more accurately. At first, it might be hard to control your car without looking at it, but you will get consistent in no time if you train it enough. Finally, it comes the part when we hit the ball. So the crucial part is the last adjustment when we're arriving to it. We have to determine whether we want to go for a shot, in which we will hit it with the corner or the nose of our car, a soft pass with more surface of our car, or usually the wheels, or if we are arriving late and we need to adjust for a block, which you will usually go for with the roof of your car, allowing you to boost during the 50 for more force. This makes a lot of difference whether your commit is useful or completely useless, so pay attention to which scenario you're in. Pillar 5. Landing and recoveries. This is the last concept, which is really simple but makes a huge difference. Pro players are characterized by maintaining control of their car even when having a rough landing. This is why recoveries are the second most important thing on this list. The idea is pretty straightforward. Land with your 4 wheels on the floor and power slide to recycle your momentum. It just drives me mad when I see people landing backwards and they just try to keep accelerating forward and they kill their momentum, because it makes the recovery way slower. But wait, this also applies to higher gameplay, because people usually struggle when landing on the wall because they don't pay enough attention to it. The worst part is that it's so useful and so game-changing. You don't believe me? Just look at this clip from Juicy during the last major.
Gentlemates hope alive.
I think it's a big, it's a big positive for Gentlemates that this is Seiko getting this late goal. I think
An insane pass. Crazy, I know. Well, if you want to get recoveries like that, I'll recommend you a few things. The first one is to practice in this training pack that I created to fly towards the wall, pop it up, land on the wall, jump again, and do a follow-up touch. This is a skill that will definitely be useful in 2s and 3s to leave wide open nets to your teammates, since you will be beating 2 players in a row. Secondly, practice with Hornets Nets Workshop your overall recovery skill. It's a really fun map that will definitely challenge you. If you're on console and you cannot play workshops, just do this free play drill, which I call Monkey of the Jungle, where you jump from the ground to the wall, onto the ceiling, onto the backboard, to end up in the ground and repeat the cycle. If you see that that's too hard for you, skip the ceiling part. If you think that it's too easy, try adding flips, wall dashes, and backwards or sideways landings to spice it up. Lastly, I have a team exercise. Create a private match with unlimited boost and time and jump in with a friend. The friend will pass the ball up high and you will try to control in one touch, land, and pass right after the first bounce so your friend can do the same. Do this as fast as possible, as if you were in a real match. If you see that you still struggle, add an extra bounce to set up your pass. That should give you more than enough time. And if you don't have any friends to play with, well, just join DBHubs. There you'll have a family that is willing to train, grind, and learn together. Oof, that was a long video. I try to cover as much as possible on this video, so I hope that you enjoyed it, especially learn from it. If so, consider subscribing, which shows me a lot of support, and these videos take more than 50 hours to make. I'm also grinding to get to 10k by the end of the year, and if I make it, I will be giving away 5 coaching sessions between my subscribers. So help me to help you. And with nothing else to say, thanks for watching and see you next time. Chicken